Hello everyone. Today video is trying to test out for the Xperia 1 Mark IV with the Sony Wireless Grip to test out the camera endurance mode with this Bluetooth grip that we have it over here, and see how far that the Xperia 1 Mark IV can push the limit of the 4K 30FPS video. Previously what I have it is about 14 minutes, more than 14 minutes of the 4K 30FPS with the ambient temperature in my at the same scenario or same area. And today video in trying to test out how long can this camera endurance mode help to push out, whether it can able to record longer video or it still behave the same. Right here, as you can see, there's a one logo there, and I'm holding the Xperia 1 Mark IV with all enabled seamless zoom and whatever. So this is the also the stabilization, and basically it depends on the Xperia 1 Mark IV itself. So in case you are trying to hold and do a front view camera, what you need to do is you can turn on switch the knob over to your view. So this was in the ultra wide angle, so I'm holding at the arm length of a 90 degree over here, so probably you can see how it looks like in terms of the V-log. I'm trying to turn it to the main camera in 24mm. Let me look at it. So this is 24mm, which is the main camera of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV. And just now I'm not sure, I'm trying to go to the ultra wide angle. So this is ultra wide angle. So how it looks like in terms of the framing, how wide is the screen with the one hand of the length that we have right here. Of course, this is of course you can use your front camera as your recording camera if you like to use those, but if not, you would like to use a rear camera as better stabilization, or probably better quality, so you could use your rear camera as your rear camera as the main footage, right? Yeah, let's test out how it looks like. I'm not really sure, but let me turn it back to the back view so I can see how it looks like in terms of the temperature on the Xperia 1 Mark IV. So there's one of the logo enabled on the screen itself. Whether it will be overheating or not, then I'm not sure, but I can see one of the logo is pushing out the temperature or something like our car meter going further. So I hope that will help in terms of pushing the limit. And also this with the internal mic that having on Xperia 1 Mark IV. If you would like to try it out, you would like to have a better audio quality, probably you need to have a shotgun microphone, which you can attach on the phone clip that I have, the Ulanji ST17, right? So this is 16mm, so the view is quite wide. I think with the one hand you should able to record your upper body until your shoulder. But let me zoom in to 24. So this is the main camera that we have, and I'm not sure what is the sound quality looks like over here. Let's see what is. Try the zoom. The stabilization on this camera itself, I don't think it will be very good, but it's usable. Yeah, but the tripod of this Sony Wireless Grip is not a gimbal type like what Zhiyun or maybe the DJI Osmo Mobile. This mobile grip did not offer that kind of the effect, but it's more on the functionality that able to support the zoom, the camera, the shutter button, whatever natively with the Sony camera apps itself. But if you like to have a better stabilization effect, probably you have to go for a gimbal. Yeah, and I know that the DJI did not really support the Xperia camera natively, so you need to have the DJI Mimo apps in order to get that functionality on the gimbal to work, like the zoom button, the focus mode, whatever things that having in the DJI Osmo mobile gimbal. So if you like to have the Video Pro or Photo Pro app, probably you need to have Sony, because it did support it natively, but I also aware that Zhiyun Smooth Q4, they also able to support the Sony Xperia apps itself. So you no need to install apps in order to use a gimbal. But yeah, that's the advantage of the Zhiyun Smooth Q4. And those are able to support more of the mobile phone. Instead of this one, Sony Grip is only able to support Xperia phone and limited to a few phones that I am aware right now. It's about Xperia Pro I, Xperia 1 Mark IV that I'm having over here, as well as Xperia 5 Mark IV that going to launch in certain country, and some other country already launched. Yeah, so probably in a few future model of the Xperia phone is able to support the same grip as what it's having right here, and of course it did able to support the Sony camera, right? If you do have one of the grip right here, I don't think that you need to purchase a gimbal, because I think the existing stabilization of the phone itself is quite okay. It's not perfect, but you are able to do it quite good. But the only thing that I would like to complain is about the zoom effect. It's smooth, but it's not, because you are holding one hand, so the stabilization is not really great, right? And we are hardly to control every single millimeter of the zooming function. So once I click on that, it probably will zoom out like it's not only 1 millimeter but more than that. So if you would like to precise, like back to 1x zoom, you are not really able to get the precise zooming function. Like after you zoom to the 3.5, right now I'm trying to zoom to, it's not 3.5 but it's 101 of the millimeter, right? And you want to back to 24 millimeter, so it's very hard to control. And right now we're back to 22, 26. So we will see some switching, lens switching effect over there. But right here I can see the overheating icon, and I would not say overheating, but it is the temperature, high temperature icon on the screen itself at the 10-minute right here. Let me touch on the phone. I also did bring one of the digital sensor. Just want to record what is the temperature right now, and we can do a compare later on, right? So right here I can see 47.2. Yeah, and the overheat button is showing up right now, which is on the top of the phone. Center of the phone 41.9, and the bottom of the phone is 38. And the back of the phone is 43.7. So the temperature is quite really high, 47. You can assume that you are holding that when you're trying to record 4K 30 FPS all the while, and your finger might be burned up. Yeah, I think this is the issue of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and as well as the functionality in the Video Pro apps. You have a lot of control, but yeah, that's a disadvantage of this year's flagship. Even with the 8 Plus Gen 1, no matter how good is the thermal control, they also were having some of the heat up, but it's not as serious as 8 Gen 1. Probably the 42, 43 is a max of the temperature. But of course, there are a lot of the tech reviewer also revealed that the Xperia 1 Mark IV did not have a good thermal control in terms of hardware perspective. So that is something that unavoidable, right? But with this Sony Grip, I hope it's able to help out to a better duration in terms of recording. Yeah, I'm not sure whether everyone would like to having the long duration of recording, but for me, I am not that kind of person that will record for 1 whole hour for the 4K. But like this video it's just for the testing purpose, and I would like to see what is the difference and how big is the difference with the Sony Grip and that particular camera endurance mode enabled. Right here is about 13 minutes, and the time is still going, right? And let's see. So yeah, so basically I got this grip is for my vlogging purpose. It's not for my personal, but it's to record my newborn baby, and I can use it as a travel purpose in the near future. So yeah, sorry, there are some cleaner there. I trying to grip with them. Okay, so far I can look at the viewfinder. I can see the video footage is quite stable, but I'm not sure how it looks like in terms of the final output. I think this one I did tested it before, so it should be quite good. But the only thing that we are concerned about is about the max limit of the video recording. Yeah. So the ISO right here is about 64 and the shutter speed here is 1/250. So this will be, in terms of the video recording, I would suggest you guys to have the ND filter, so you can have a motion blur effect or cinematic video effect, right? That's a time of truth of the video recording. So if you have that, that will be better. But especially in the daytime, you cannot lower down your shutter speed because of the time, the lighting that enter to your sensor. So you need the ND filter in order to do that. But for the night time, yeah, you don't need an ND filter. But if you would like to have a long exposure video or probably long exposure photo, probably you need an ND filter to get to make that happen. But assuming normal people would not using any add-on of the camera lens on the phone, but just having a wireless grip, so we would like to try out how it looks like in terms of the real-life scenario. So in my country, 33 temperature Celsius is the average, but somehow I'm under the sun, under the building which cover area, so not really heat up under the sunlight, so probably it's not really matched to those people who like to take video under the sunlight. So but take this as an experiment, right? So previously I already heat up until 14 minutes, and right here I can see 17 minutes passed already. So right, try out again, back to myself, and this ultra wide angle. I just ensure this is a 16mm ultra wide angle, and I would like to try out how it looks like in terms of the framing of myself with the ultra wide angle. So if you would like to take the main camera with the OIS, probably you have to go to 24. Let me try to it. Okay, and this is the main camera that Xperia 1 Mark IV that having. Right, check that one again. I'm trying to find a backlight, and I would like to see the video effect, the video recording under the backlight. I think this should be fine. Let's move. This is one arm again, and I'm not sure, and I never tested it out before. So today's video is trying to test out the capability of the Sony Wireless Grip, as well as the framing of the camera apps with this Sony Wireless Grip. I'm pretty sure it's able. If you have extra budget, definitely you can go for a vlog monitor that Sony introduced, which I think is over expensive. It's priced at about $230 or equivalent of 1,000 Malaysian ringgit. So it's too expensive to me just to have that kind of monitor to look at your framing. But if you are that kind of person who like to live stream, who like to do a lot of vlog, and you do not have anyone that go with you, probably you need that to check on your camera framing. But if you used to the camera framing, when you practice for a while, probably you do not need to have that kind of the vlog monitor. Right here, never practiced it before, but try to look at the camera lens on the mobile phone, and I think it should be quite cool. But I could feel a bit tired in terms of my arm with all the setup that I have. I just have one of mobile clip and one of Sony case and the phone itself. So, and I feel it's quite tired. Of course, it's not that kind of like very tired, but if you like to extend the whole hand, probably you cannot hold that long. But you try to hold in the a 90 degree of the length, probably you can hold about 15 to 20 minutes. I think that's a possible the average limit. I still do have one shotgun microphone that I haven't used it, but I did test it out for myself, but I didn't use it in this video because I just want to mimic or demonstrate how the real life testing scenario for average people that do not use any add-on but just use the Sony grip itself and the phone microphone, phone camera without any kind of add-on. But for the intermediate or probably advanced user, they would like to use an add-on clip, add-on microphone, so you can see some of the difference. Probably I can do another test between the comparison, the differences between the internal microphone of the Xperia 1 Mark IV versus some of the external shotgun microphone, so you can see the audio differences, right? And let me check whether is it cut out or not. And no, this is about 21 minutes and it's still recording. The overheating is still there. Let me test this out. What is the temperature right now? Hold a second. On the back is 41.8. I'm not sure whether you can see it, but the top is 46, so it's not accurate, but it's just give you an approximate. This is the center of the phone, so you can assume there's about 46 to 47 of the temperature, and it's still recording right now. Yeah, so I think for the normal vlog purpose, if you like to take 1 to 2 minutes of vlog video, then you go back and do some trimming, post-processing, then I think it should not be a problem for you. But if you like to do live streaming for a long duration, let's say 30 minutes, 1 hour, this video is trying to give you a overview how can it last, how far can it last with this Sony Wireless Grip. And I hope it can able to pass for 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes, if really it's able to record more than 30 minutes, I will leave it somewhere and let it continue until it shut down by its own, right? So I guess this would be good reference video for you guys, just for the testing purpose. I'm not doing all this for myself or in my real case scenario, but just doing all this for any other potential buyer of this phone out there, right? So is there any backlight? I think the video quality should be good, especially right now it's daytime. I'm not sure how it looks like, but I hope it's good, right? Trying to moving around, and yeah. So if you do have other kind of question about the Xperia 1 Mark IV, and something about this Sony Wireless Grip, that you can just drop your question below. So ask anything that you would like to know, and I will try my best to answer you. There are a lot of people still asking about overheating issue, and this video in trying to test it out and show you the differences and everything. The condition of the phone right now is recorded with all the features enabled, mobile data enabled, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, all are enabled. not turning on the airplane mode, which people did comment that before, that airplane mode would make the phone sustain much more longer, but we just treat it as a normal, right? Yeah, let me switch my hand. I feel my hand is a bit tired for more than 20 minutes. Right now it's 25, right? 25. Okay, let's talk about the Sony Wireless Grip. And I feel that the grip is sturdy and the build quality is good. You can feel the difference compared to some of the cheap plug of the plastic tripod, and it do have the rubber at the bottom of the every leg of the tripod, so when you put on somewhere, it's really able to stand or hold the grip on the table or on the surface, right? And yeah, I'm not sure how long the battery life can last long, but it's quite convenient to find a replacement of battery, so not a big issue for me. And I heard these tripod are able to resist to weather proof, which means it's able to handle some of the raining scenario. But for myself, I'm not really want to risk that, because this Sony Wireless Grip I purchased at about $80. There's a lot of discount during the September sales, so I got this one just for the testing out, as well as to try out the things, right? And one of the special thing right here is able to turn the screen from back to the front by just pressing one of the button, which is something very convenient in my view, but is quite tough, and you need to really press and turn it by your own, because the weight of the Xperia 1 Mark IV is not really heavy enough. So yeah, you need to turn it manually by your own. And there are some of the angle that you can press and change the angle, that how you hold it, right? So this is also another advantage of this wireless grip. There's one of the placement for your index finger, so you can rest your finger at the back of the tripod or the grip, so you can hold it in much more comfortable way, or I would say is more economics of design of holding this grip. So yeah, quite cool of it. But the only complaint that I would like to say is about, since it do have the remote control function, I hope Sony able to integrate with the feature that we able to take off the function from the grip and treat it as a real remote, instead of, because it's a tripod function as well. So I would like to take a group photo, I would like to place on the table or somewhere steady, and I can use the same function on it, instead of I set the self timer and do a recording, right? Yeah, that's the only thing that I would like to see in the near future. There are some of the third party do have this kind of function, but I'm not sure whether it's able to support the Xperia phone, but suppose it do, because I did see some of the sales posts, they did mention it's able to support for Xperia Pro I. So I will assume that it's also able to support Xperia 1 Mark IV. The brand that, if not mistaken, is a JJC, with the same modern name of the Xperia wireless grip, like this one, GP-VPT2BT. GP-VPT2BT, something like that. I'm not really sure how they pronounce it, but it's quite difficult to pronounce the Sony product names, right? It always have a weird name, but I think there's some of the philosophy at the back on how is the naming convention works, right? GP maybe it stands for the grip, right? VPT, I'm not sure how it is, but behind is a 2BT, is maybe a version 2 with the Bluetooth version. Yeah, but who knows? Maybe probably the Sony engineer would know how they try to market the product with this kind of naming, right? Let me test out whether the video is still recording. Yes, it is still recording. With over 30 minutes of the mark right here. I think I'm trying to play somewhere and record it once again. Once after that I will place it in somewhere and to continue the video, because 30 minutes I'm just talking nonsense right here and I'm not sure what should I talk about, and but I will just fully upload this video as a record or a proof to show for some people who have the concern about the overheating issue, how long can 4K 30 FPS recorded. But of course I'm pretty sure that later on people will ask me to record a 4K 60 FPS or 4K 120 FPS. I can when I do have the time, but I think the conventional video format that people will use is 4K 30 FPS. So I just use the similar mode over here, right? Yeah, my condo do have quite a windy weather over here, and I really like about this environment that it do have a lot of greening plants. We can relax over here with our family. We can do our own exercise, swimming, whatever activity that you can see over here, right? It do not have a lot of variety, but it still can fulfill a daily mainstream of the exercise activity, right? I did not go out to take some of the video, sorry about that, but that's my limit right here, because I'm a new first hand or daddy, and I need to stand by and take care of my baby later on. After this I need to go and fetch my baby from my mother-in-law, right? Because she will take care for daytime, and nighttime I will take care for that. Yeah, if you look at my previous video, I did film some of the video clip as well as take some of the photo with this Sony Wireless hand grip during the studio photography section. And in fact, I cannot really shoot that kind of the video or take that kind of photo because it's supposedly is not allowed to do so, because there are a lot of the trademark or some of the things that they do not want to let other competitors know. But somehow I got the permission from the photographer that I'm trying to film it as a memory, and I try to do it as quick as possible, and the short video clip that I'm trying to compile it into 1 to 2 minutes, just a short memory video clip for my newborn baby, right? I look forward for the final output of the photographer, and yeah, I mean, as a newborn or as a new daddy, definitely we are very excited about that. I still really amazed with the functionality of the Xperia 1 Mark IV, especially with the 20 FPS of eye autofocus, which I use it a lot for my newborn baby, and it did deliver a lot of the good quality of picture from a smartphone. Of course, I do have the the DSLR, which is a very old model. Still deliver good, but it's a bit heavy for me to carry it always and always hanging on the neck, which I don't think is convenient. So I'm looking forward a pocketable device like the smartphone that able to deliver a good result with a lot of manual control, and it did not involve a lot of AI processing that I prefer in that way. But of course, a lot of people surrounding myself do have the iPhone, and they did deliver a very great job in terms of the camera, video, everything. They are good. But just within my own personal workflow, the ecosystem, I do not really like how Apple ecosystem that very restricted my personal preference. So I still opt for the Android. And in Android, I think the most famous brand that in Malaysia right here is Xiaomi and Samsung. I do own the Xiaomi before, and I don't like the color production of the Xiaomi itself. Some are over too saturated, some are over processing, but some are too dull. I'm not sure. Very hard to find a balance. But recently I saw one of the Xiaomi phone is the 12S Ultra, which work with the Leica itself, and the Leica authentic color mode, that one is quite close to a digital camera feel, and or somehow what we have in the Xperia and the iPhone is quite close with that. So I think we can look forward for the future evolution of the smartphone camera, where of course in terms of hardware, I think there's still a limitation in terms of putting all this into this size of the device, but with a little bit of AI assistance, it did lifted out the boundary of the smartphone camera, which that's why you can see a lot of people are having a smartphone as their main camera just for social media purpose, right? You know, not necessarily have to go for professional Alpha series or Nikon G series to take a super amazing photo. But a lot of people just want to record their own life, but not a real professional of the photographer. So they do not really understand. A lot of people do not really understand about the ISO, the white balance, the shutter speed, the aperture. But with one smartphone, with one click, and you're still able to record or capture a good photo right there. I just checked, it's still recording, 38 minutes. I'm trying to turn out the tripod and place somewhere so I can rest my hand. Yeah. So this tripod is good for carrying out with the group gathering. You can take a group photo, but the only thing probably you need to set the self timer like 10 seconds or 3 seconds so that you can press a button, move to the designated area so you can take a wider a good photo as a tripod, or you can go for the vlog, for travel, for whatever things that you would like to do. It's expensive. Honestly, it's really expensive in terms of one of the tripod for a mobile phone, and it's still limited to Xperia phone itself, with the 3 model that I mentioned, and some of the Sony camera. If you do have the plan to use the Xperia phone and Sony camera in the near future, you are okay to invest one of the grip like this. But if you would like to have a wider compatibility, compatible devices, I would suggest you go to the Zhiyun, ZHIYUN. It's one of the China company, I believe. It's called Zhiyun. In terms of Mandarin pronunciation, it's called Zhiyun. Smooth Q4. probably do have the Q5 or Smooth 5 or whatever the version. You try to look it out. And I remember they have one of the extension rope that they can extend the pole, so you can use your main camera and capture a wider angle of the view. So I think that is good, and the price is almost similar as this one, probably slightly higher, probably about $150, and this one is about $100 plus. So if you do have a little bit budget, you can extend it that way, and you're able to support natively as far as I understand from some of the reviewers in internet and some of the forums. But the reason I didn't go for that is I still prefer to compare the product within the Sony ecosystem itself. So I do not really want to comment a lot of other brands, but I still do some of the comparison just for the reference purpose, in not trying to condemn any brand. Is it Sony is good or bad, or iPhone is good or bad, but it's just giving you as a reference to visualize how it looks like in terms of the from the real life user perspective, right? Like this one, a lot of YouTubers they did a lot of review with a lot of workflow. One day they are trying to capture everything in a single day, so it may not really giving the true or fair view of the opinion in terms of the entire devices. So in my channel you only see this Sony phone because I'm not a tech reviewer, but I still got a little bit of the sense that would like to defend the Sony Xperia phone itself, which I don't think it's as bad as other people mention out there. Especially the initial review from a lot of the famous reviewers. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are looking at the tech information from all these kind of reviewers as their main source of the information, right? But if you did watch my video, I'm pretty sure that you are the observer of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV as well, but you are still holding back your final push on the purchase of this phone is because of overheating issue. I cannot deny that it do not have the overheating issue. Every phone might have the overheating issue. Just how far is the limit, and Sony did really bad in terms of software optimization, or probably they always put a cap or limit in terms of software, but other phone manufacturer didn't even alert or didn't provide any kind of message to alert people at all. I don't know, but that's how the Japanese company trying to work. Probably it's their culture to disclose whatever things that they have. Right, let me wait a few seconds, let me check. And it's still recording, and I think the light is quite bad just now. Didn't know that it's a bad light, so I'm not sure whether you can look at my face just now. Probably the eye autofocus should able to track my face, and probably I can review the things later on. But it's about 45 minutes mark plus already, and I don't think I'm like to continue it. Yeah, so I hope the video end today, and when I'm free I will try to record it again to test out how long can this tripod help to enhance the duration of it, right? I'm trying to move until the area that nearby the lift, and I will end the recording. If you would like to see more about this kind of testing, just subscribe to my channel and help to support, and click like and share it to other friends that would like to purchase for Xperia 1 Mark IV, and try to clarify and not to spread rumors overheating over 1 minute of video recording or whatever. That's not true. I mean, definitely not true. And this video is able to prove that I can record more than 1 minute or 2 minutes. Alright, so yep, I think that's all, and bye, see ya.